MGM Grand, 6,852 rooms, largest hotel in the United States, opened 1993. It's too big, and MGM doesn't know what to do with it. In the 1990s, scale was the advantage. Biggest meant best. More rooms meant more revenue. Now, scale is a liability. 6,852 rooms is too many to fill, too many to renovate, too many to maintain quality. MGM Grand attracts budget travelers, convention overflow, large groups, not luxury guests, not high spenders. The property can't be sold, can't be demolished, can't be properly renovated. It's stuck. This is why MGM Grand is too big to fix, the scale problem that can't be solved. And why being the biggest doesn't mean being the best. MGM Grand opened October 1993. Built for $1 billion. 5,500 rooms at opening. Largest hotel in the world. The concept was simple. Build the biggest. Dominate through scale. Fill those rooms with tourists who wanted to say they stayed at the biggest hotel on earth. And it worked. In the 1990s, MGM Grand was the property. The scale was impressive. The lion entrance was iconic. The theme park attached made it family-friendly. MGM Grand represented the mega resort era. Bigger was better. More rooms meant more revenue. Economies of scale created profit. The property added more towers over the years. Signature towers opened in 2006, 2007, and 2009. Those are technically condo hotel separate ownership, but connected to MGM Grand. With the signature towers, total room count reached 6,852. But here's what changed. The market changed. Bigger stopped being better. Vegas shifted to luxury. Wynn opened 2005. Encore opened 2008. Cosmopolitan opened 2010. Aria opened 2010. These properties had fewer rooms but charged more per room. They targeted high spenders, not volume. MGM Grand was stuck in the volume model. 6,852 rooms to fill every night. That requires budget pricing. Budget pricing attracts budget customers. The scale advantage became a scale problem. 6,852 rooms means you need 6,852 guests every night just to hit 100% occupancy. When conventions are strong, that's achievable. When conventions are soft, occupancy crashes. MGM Grand can't afford to be selective. They have to fill rooms, so they lower prices. Midweek rates drop to $100 or less. Weekend rates are higher, but still budget compared to Bellagio or Wynn. Lower prices attract budget travelers. Budget travelers don't gamble much. They don't eat at high-end restaurants. They don't spend on shows or shopping. They book cheap rooms and minimize spending. This is the opposite of the modern Vegas strategy. Wynn, Bellagio, Cosmopolitan charge high room rates to attract high spenders. Those guests gamble more, dine at expensive restaurants, see premium shows. MGM Grand is trapped in volume business. Fill 6,852 rooms at low rates instead of 3,000 rooms at high rates. The math doesn't work as well anymore. 6,852 budget guests generate less total revenue than 3,000 luxury guests. Venetian has 7,092 suites, more rooms than MGM Grand, but every room is a suite. Minimum 650 square feet, luxury positioning. Venetian charges premium rates, attracts conventions and high-end leisure travelers. The scale works because the product is premium. MGM Grand has 6,852 rooms, but most are standard 300 to 400 square foot rooms. Not suites, not luxury, just volume. Same scale, different positioning. Venetian makes scale work. MGM Grand struggles with it. Bellagio has 3,976 rooms, about half of MGM Grand. But Bellagio charges double or triple per room. Bellagio attracts high rollers, luxury travelers, business executives on expense accounts. Bellagio generates more profit per square foot than MGM Grand, despite having fewer rooms. This is the problem. MGM Grand has the most rooms, but not the most revenue per room. Scale without premium positioning is a disadvantage. MGM Grand needs a complete renovation. The rooms are dated. The casino floor layout is confusing. The public spaces feel tired. The property looks like 1993, but you can't renovate 6,852 rooms easily. If you close the property entirely, you lose massive revenue. 6,852 rooms times, let's say, $150 average rate times 365 days equals $375 million in annual room revenue. You can't shut down for 2 years and lose $750 million in room revenue. That's not feasible. So you renovate in phases. Close one tower at a time. Renovate those rooms, move to next tower. But that takes years, maybe 5 to 7 years to renovate everything. And by the time you finish the last tower, the first tower needs updating again. It's a never-ending cycle. The property is too big to ever be fully current. Renovating 6,852 rooms properly would cost $300 to $500 million minimum. Maybe more if you're doing structural changes. For what return? You still have 6,852 rooms. You still need volume business to fill them. Renovation doesn't change the fundamental scale problem. You'd spend $500 million to renovate and still need to charge budget rates to fill all those rooms. The return on investment isn't there. Compare to a smaller property. Renovate 2,000 rooms for $150 million. You can then position as luxury and charge premium rates. The renovation pays for itself through higher room rates. MGM Grand? You renovate 6,852 rooms and still can't charge Bellagio rates because you need volume to fill capacity. MGM Grand's layout is confusing. The property is massive. Multiple towers, long walks between sections. Signage is poor. First-time guests get lost. Fixing the layout would require demolishing walls, reconfiguring hallways, redesigning entire sections. That's not renovation, that's reconstruction. It would cost billions and take a decade. MGM isn't doing that. So the layout stays confusing. And that's part of why the property feels dated and frustrating. MGM Grand opened with a Wizard of Oz theme. The lion entrance, Emerald City aesthetic. It was distinctive. MGM removed most of the theme in the late 1990s and early 2000s. The lion entrance was replaced. The Oz branding was minimized. Why? Because Asian tourists considered walking through a lion's mouth bad luck. Superstition hurt bookings, so MGM gutted the theme. Now MGM Grand has no theme. It's just a giant hotel with a green exterior. No identity, no distinctive positioning, just big. Compared to Caesar's Palace, Roman theme, timeless, elegant. Everyone knows what Caesar's is. Compared to Luxor, Egypt theme is dated and embarrassing, but at least it has an identity. MGM Grand, generic. Green building, lots of rooms. That's it. MGM Grand has restaurants, lots of them. Tom Colicchio's Craft Steak, Morimoto. Joel Robuchon closed, but was there for years. But the dining scene is hit or miss. Too many restaurants to maintain quality across all of them. Some are excellent, some are mediocre, inconsistent. Compared to Bellagio, smaller property, fewer restaurants, but every restaurant is high quality, consistency. MGM Grand's scale means they can't maintain consistency. Some restaurants are great, some are just there to fill space. The MGM Grand Casino floor is 171,000 square feet, massive. And it's confusing. Poor layout, difficult to navigate, loud but not in an exciting way, just chaotic. Compared to Aria, clean layout, modern, easy to navigate, premium feel, MGM Grand feels like a budget casino despite being massive, volume over quality. Here's the only thing keeping MGM Grand relevant: the MGM Grand Garden Arena. 20,000-seat arena. Hosts major events, concerts, UFC boxing. Major fights happen here. Canelo Alvarez fights, Tyson Fury fights, UFC pay-per-views. The arena drives hotel bookings. When there's a major fight or concert, MGM Grand fills rooms. Fans book hotel packages. The property is packed. Without the arena, MGM Grand would be in serious trouble. The arena creates demand that the hotel itself doesn't generate. But here's the problem. The arena is maybe 20 to 30 event nights per year. That's great for those nights. What about the other 335 nights? Those nights, MGM Grand depends on convention overflow and budget travelers. The arena doesn't help. The arena is a crutch. It saves the property from complete irrelevance. But it doesn't solve the fundamental problem. 6,852 rooms is too many. MGM Grand is stuck. They can't sell it. They can't demolish it. They can't properly renovate it. Who buys a 6,852-room property? The buyer pool is tiny, maybe zero. Caesars Entertainment has $12.3 billion in debt. They're not buying. Wynn Resorts focuses on luxury, not volume. They're not buying. A sovereign wealth fund could theoretically buy it. But why? What's the upside? You're buying a scale problem, not an opportunity. MGM owns the operations but sold the real estate to Blackstone in a sale-leaseback deal. So technically, MGM doesn't even own the building anymore. They operate it and pay rent. That makes it even harder to sell. You're selling operational control of a property you're renting. Not appealing. MGM Grand sits on massive acreage, South Strip. The land is valuable. You could theoretically demolish MGM Grand and build something modern. Smaller room count, luxury positioning, better layout. But demolition would cost hundreds of millions. Building new would cost billions. And you'd lose MGM Grand's operational revenue during construction. The financial math doesn't work. MGM is better off operating a mediocre MGM Grand than spending $5 billion to replace it. Plus, MGM Grand has brand recognition. Demolishing it would be admitting failure. MGM won't do that. As discussed, renovating 6,852 rooms properly would take years and cost hundreds of millions. For marginal return, you'd still have a volume property after renovation, so MGM does minimal renovation, update some rooms, refresh the casino floor occasionally, just enough to avoid looking completely dated, but never a transformative renovation, never bringing the property to modern luxury standards, because the scale makes that impossible. What happens to MGM Grand? It survives. It's too big to fail. The property generates revenue. The arena drives bookings. It's profitable enough to keep operating. But it never elevates. It never becomes luxury. It never escapes the volume trap. 20 years from now, MGM Grand will still be there. Still 6,852 rooms. Still budget positioning. Still dependent on convention overflow and arena events. It will never be Bellagio. It will never be Wynn. It will never be Cosmopolitan. It's stuck being MGM Grand, the biggest hotel, the volume play, the property that's too big to fix. Theoretically, MGM could convert MGM Grand into multiple properties. Separate the towers. Create distinct brands. One tower becomes ultra-budget. Another becomes mid-tier. Another becomes upscale. Different positioning for different towers. This would allow targeted renovations. Invest heavily in the upscale tower. Minimal investment in the budget tower. But MGM won't do this. It's too complicated. Too expensive, too risky. So MGM Grand stays as is. One massive property, trying to be everything to everyone and succeeding at being nothing exceptional. The signature towers are separate, condo hotel ownership. They're technically part of MGM Grand but operate semi-independently. They're nicer than the main MGM Grand towers. more modern, better maintained. This proves the point. Smaller, separate, better managed is superior to massive, integrated, mediocre. If MGM Grand was built today, it would be built like the signature towers. Separate buildings, clear positioning, manageable scale. But it wasn't. It was built in 1993 when bigger was better. Now it's stuck being too big. MGM Grand, 6,852 rooms, largest hotel in the United States. In 1993, that was the advantage. Biggest meant best. Scale meant success. Now, scale is a liability. Too many rooms to fill means budget pricing. Budget pricing means budget customers. Budget customers mean lower revenue per guest. The property can't be properly renovated. 6,852 rooms would take 5 to 7 years and $300 to $500 million. By the time you finish, you need to start again. The property has no identity. Removed the Wizard of Oz theme. Now it's just a generic green building with lots of rooms. The MGM Grand Garden Arena is the only thing keeping it relevant. 20 to 30 major event nights per year drive bookings. The other 335 nights, it's convention overflow and budget travelers. MGM can't sell it. Who buys 6,852 rooms? Can't demolish it. Too expensive. Too much lost revenue. Can't properly renovate it. Scale makes it impossible. So MGM Grand is stuck, operating profitably but never elevating, never becoming luxury, never escaping the volume trap. Compared to Bellagio, 3,976 rooms, charges double per room, generates more profit per square foot. Compared to Venetian, 7,092 suites, premium positioning. Scale works because product is luxury. MGM Grand, 6,852 rooms, budget positioning. Scale is a problem, not an advantage. 20 years from now, MGM Grand will still be there, still the biggest, still stuck, still too big to fix. Because in modern Vegas, being the biggest doesn't mean being the best. It means being trapped. Have you stayed at MGM Grand? Do you think they can fix it? Let me know in the comments. If you want more Vegas deep dives, subscribe to Vegas Vault, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video.